Hello, and thank you for joining. I'm Grace, Communications Coordinator at Ann Arbor's Office of Sustainability and Innovations, and welcome to Greenlight, where we dig into sustainability in Ann Arbor with the residents who are envisioning, creating, and establishing a sustainable and equitable future for our community. Supporting these goals and presenting this series is A20, the city's plan, framework, vision, and associated actions for creating and implementing a just transition to carbon neutrality community-wide by the year 2030. Today, we're very fortunate to be shining the green light on Mayor Christopher Taylor of Ann Arbor and special guest, Lord Mayor Boris Palmer of Tuebingen, Germany, Ann Arbor's sister city. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for coming to Ann Arbor.
Thanks for the invitation. It's a wonderful stay here in your city.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm curious to hear, how did the Sister City Exchange start?
Oh, actually, we haven't been around then.
Yes, it's been going for 55 years. So it was an era in which, certainly at least on the U.S. side, the sister city relationships were seen as ways to, promote international friendship, promote connection across the sea. It, of course, had Cold War implications at the time as well. And so some of Ann Arbor's most enduring sister city relationships started just around the same time.
Oh, wow. One of those being the relationship between these two
One of
cities.
those being with Tuebingen, Germany.
Perfect. And this relationship started 50 years ago, more than 50?
55 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. For those not familiar with Tuebingen or Ann Arbor, can you share what you see as similarities between your two cities?
We both have a university. We're medium-sized cities in our countries, and we have a plan to reach carbon neutrality by the year 2030. Both cities have the same plan, the same idea, not the same plan, and the same council decisions on that goal.
That's fantastic. There are a lot of similarities. A lot of those are the same defining things as Ann Arbor. Both Ann Arbor and Tuebingen have, as you mentioned, 2030 carbon neutrality goals. Why is climate change so important to both of you?
Well, I mean, fundamentally, of course, climate change is real, and it is something which is an existential threat to our way of living. And it's crucial that absolutely everybody take both personal responsibility for what we're doing, but also municipal responsibility. We know in Ann Arbor that we're not going to solve the problem alone, but we also know that it is our obligation and duty, and indeed our pleasure, to do our part. And so, I'm just so glad and proud that we as a community ourselves are committed to moving forward in that regard.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you. What about you?
I think cities like ours can be pioneers. We have people that want to go forward. We have new ideas. We have opportunities. We should use them. And also, I personally believe that there is no business case against nature and against mathematics. We will be running out of oil and coal someday, and there must be a future beyond that. And we are shaping that future now.
Those are both really great answers, and I feel very optimistic. It's great to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is an example of something you have loved from each other throughout visiting your opposite cities and just through the sister city relationship?
I know his answer.
Yeah, he does know my answer.
You both answer for each other.
Yeah. So I'll go first. I had the great fortune to go with a number of folks from the city to Tuebingen last year, and you can't go there and but be, well, in addition to the beautiful flowers everywhere, you can't but notice the bicycles everywhere. The place is lousy with them, and it's just it's such a crucial and accepted and valued part of how folks get around. It's an expected part of how folks get around, and we are in Ann Arbor are just getting started with that. And so in addition to all the work we've been doing as a municipal matter, working on our non-motorized plan, building protected bike lanes throughout the city, as a personal matter, I kind of looked around and said, well, let's do it. So after coming back from Tuebingen in July, I took 3 months and decided, well, am I going to, and tried to be a bike commuter on my regular bike. Truthfully, I didn't even have a bike. It was my daughter's bike.
Really?
So driving around on three months on my daughter's bike, and decided, well, yes, this is something that I can do. And so I went and got myself an electric bike and have been a bike commuter ever since. And it's just been super awesome. Today I hit 700 miles on it just in and about town.
Wow.
And yeah, I just couldn't be more thrilled.
That's fantastic.
I got it from Tuebingen.
I had no idea. I've only known you as the biker.
The biking
I
guy.
just,
Yeah, I
you
know.
rolled up here today on your bike,
I did indeed.
and he got it from you guys. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And when I came here for the first time in 2008, I think that must have been the 50th year anniversary already. So it might be even more. Anyway, when I came here first, the former mayor John Hiftier showed me in downtown an LED street lighting, something I'd never seen before. And I found the idea thrilling. And then we imported the idea of LED street lighting to Tübingen. So I went back home to our power utility that is locally owned. I said, hey guys, know what I've seen? In Ann Arbor, they already have LED street lighting. You're telling me that's not technically possible. So how come they have it? I want to have it as well. So we got that idea from Ann Arbor. And now we're having LED street lighting, of course.
That's fantastic. Wow. That's great that you could bring that back and
Yeah,
get
you can
that
learn
done.
from others, can you?
Yeah. What are 1 to 2 actions to address the climate crisis your community has undertaken that you think could serve as a model for the other?
I'll flip the question a little bit and say something that they're doing and that they have already that we're working on.
Yeah.
In Tübingen, they're incredibly fortunate to have a utility that is owned by the public. And that enables them to be innovative and to utilize those resources for, of course, for public benefit, but also in connection with promoting renewability. We in Ann Arbor have a proposal upcoming on the November ballot, Proposal A for a sustainable energy utility, which would be publicly owned, 100% renewable, sustainable, reliable, and also at no new taxes. It would enable folks who sign up for the sustainable energy utility to work with the utility. The utility would provide, say, solar panels, batteries for your home. You'd pay for it with your rates. And if we have even just 20 megawatts of folks sign up, we expect those rates to be lower than people are currently paying to the existing utility. It wouldn't supplant the existing utility, but it would overlay the existing utility. And that sort of in part is an inspiration from our visit in Tübingen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing.
A delight.
Sounds great. I've learned that you have managed to have a special fund, a special part of the property tax that is reserved for rebates for people who want to install solar on their roof and
heat pumps,
and heat pumps and batteries and stuff like that. And honestly, I would be really happy if council would approve such a proposal, because raise taxes for that special purposes, I never have done that yet. But I think it's a very good idea, and ask council, why shouldn't we be as progressive as Ann Arbor is?
Well, thank you. Thank you. What do you think the Ann Arbor-Tuebingen relationship demonstrates about the importance of international collaboration?
I'll say, sister city relationships are, they're wonderful. It's not something that I, before getting involved in municipal government, had really had an understanding for and appreciation for. I knew there had been some cultural exchanges and the like, but the concept of both professionals at the municipal level working with each other, collaborating with each other, and community members who are excited about going to another country, another community, learning about it, experiencing it, and bringing some of that back home. It is, the world is vast, but it's just such a pleasure knowing that you have friends across the sea, and the sister city relationship provides that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can only support that. The friendship is the most important part of it, because there are really difficult tasks in the world, and we wouldn't be able to cope with them if we were alone. Neither the States nor Europe could do that. And also, what is really valuable to me is the shock. The shock to learn that something that you thought is self-evident is not at all used in other situations. So you come over the ocean and you realize you could do the same thing in a totally different way, and it's still reasonable. So that's something that's very important if you go home and you talk to your community, that there could be another idea and it could reach the same goal.
Yeah, that's really cool. The meeting of collaboration, but also exploration and learning new things.
From each other.
I know you both have spent time in the opposite city. What have you enjoyed most about the other? I know I'm going to throw out a guess and say it was the bikes.
The bicycles were pretty high. I've also learned how to make spätzle as a result of my visit there. So I get it on both sides, on the intake and the outtake.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And you?
I learned that you have a wonderful green belt that the city bought to preserve it for the future. And that idea is something that's really appealing to me, so that you could raise money from the city to preserve the nature around the city. We didn't do that, but that is something I brought home when I came here for the first time. Very impressive.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I think that Ann Arbor residents are very passionate about the community and also nature, as you mentioned. I think it's something that unifies a lot of residents.
Absolutely.
What future opportunities do you see for this amazing sister-city relationship, besides spending the rest of the upcoming week together?
I think we're just going to continue to move forward as we have, I certainly hope. We have community groups that go back and forth, that engage with one another. We always like to keep an eye as to what's going on in Tuebingen, because they are so on the front foot when it comes to climate action and engaging these incredibly crucial issues. It's just well, like I said, it's just nice to know that you have a colleague in a completely different governmental and social context in which you can talk to and learn from and commiserate with as it comes to pass.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can also collaborate with evaluating the carbon neutrality plans and what are we learning from the other. And also, I do realize that we have made mistakes and that we have to correct some things, because it's not so easy to reach the goal. And it's always good to have new ideas and to see how others cope with those problems. And that is something that we're doing during this visit. And I already learned new things. It's possible to build up a completely new bike lane loop in only 5 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I would never have imagined that in only 5 years. Took us much longer.
Well, you have an Altstadt to work through.
Well, thank you. And thank you both so much for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week here in Ann Arbor and have even more great things to bring back home. So thank you both.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely. You can learn more about A20 by visiting a20.org and more about Tuebingen's climate work at tuebingen.de/Tuebingen-Macht-Blau. Have a question you want to ask to a sustainability expert in the city of Ann Arbor? Let us know at sustainability@a2gov.org. This has been Greenlight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.